They called it the Flying Milk Jug. Big, round, and clumsy. The Luftwaffe pilots mocked it openly. When the Americans brought their new fighter, the P-47 Thunderbolt, across the channel, the German aces couldn't help but laugh. Compared to their sleek Messerschmitt Bf-109s and Focke-Wulf 190s, the Thunderbolt looked like a steel bathtub with wings. "It's too heavy to fight," one German pilot was overheard saying. "If it dives, it won't come back up." But war has a way of humbling even the proudest of men. The birth of a beast. The P-47 was born not from elegance, but from necessity. Republic Aviation's chief designer, Alexander Kartveli, believed that if a fighter was going to survive in Europe's brutal skies, it needed more than speed. It needed endurance. And so he built a monster. At its heart was the Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp, an 18-cylinder radial engine that roared like thunder. A complex turbo-supercharger gave it the breath to climb above 30,000 feet, higher than most fighters of its day could even dream. When fully loaded, it weighed nearly 8 tons, making it the heaviest single-engine fighter of World War II. But beneath that bulk was a shield, layers of armor around the cockpit and engine, and a wingspan wide enough to carry a fearsome payload. 8.50 caliber Browning machine guns. Each one could spit out over 800 rounds per minute. Together, they poured a storm of lead, nearly 10,000 bullets a minute, a wall of fire no enemy could fly through unscathed. When the Thunderbolts first arrived in England in 1943, even American pilots doubted them. The early missions were long and high, escorting bombers into occupied Europe. The pilots complained, "She's too big, too slow. Drinks fuel like a battleship." But that changed over France when the Luftwaffe struck. A formation of P-47s under Hub Zemke's 56th Fighter Group encountered a group of FW-190s. The Germans dove in confidently, sleek, agile, experienced. The Americans braced for disaster. Then, something unexpected happened. The Thunderbolts held their dives faster and faster, their heavy frames cutting through the air like falling hammers. The Germans couldn't match the speed. When they tried to pull away, the P-47s opened up. The sky erupted with flashing tracers. A Focke-Wulf vanished in a burst of flame. Another's wing sheared clean off. The laughter was gone, replaced by disbelief. When the survivors returned to base, one Luftwaffe pilot reportedly muttered, "Those milk jugs, they dive like demons." From that day, the P-47 earned a new name, the Jug. It wasn't the prettiest, but it was unstoppable. It could take hits that would shred other fighters and still bring its pilot home. There are stories of Thunderbolts limping back to base with engines full of holes, control cables shot away, and whole chunks of tail missing. Yet somehow, the pilots survived. Ace Francis Gabreski, who scored 28 kills, once said, "You could fly it through a brick wall and still make it back for dinner." Soon, the P-47s were doing more than dogfighting. They were tearing the German war machine apart from below. With bombs, rockets, and those 8 Brownings, they destroyed trains, tanks, and convoys with terrifying precision. One squadron alone claimed over 6,000 ground kills in a single month. The Luftwaffe began to fear the growl of that radial engine. German infantry nicknamed it the Butcher Bird of Thunder, a cruel twist on their own FW-190's name. By late 1944, the Allies had air superiority, thanks in part to the P-47. It wasn't as fast or long-ranged as the new P-51 Mustang, but it had done its job. It had broken the Luftwaffe's confidence and its backbone. Many German pilots, Veterans of Spain and the Battle of Britain had started the war laughing at Allied planes. By the end, they looked to the skies with dread. A Luftwaffe report in late 1944 described the Thunderbolt as a fighter of terrifying power and invulnerability, impossible to outdive and difficult to destroy. When the war ended, more than 15,000 Thunderbolts had been built. They flew over Europe, the Pacific, even post-war Korea. They were flown by aces, rookies, and heroes alike. Many never returned, but many more did, battered and burnt, proof of Kartvel's vision. And perhaps that is the final truth of the P-47. It wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the prettiest, but it was the fighter that survived, and saved countless others. Once they laughed. They saw a flying milk jug, slow, clumsy, absurd. But when its 8.50 seconds thundered, raining fire and steel from the heavens, the laughter died in smoke and flame. The P-47 Thunderbolt, the jug that endured. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.